Imagine this. A brilliant inventor on the verge of changing the world freezes at the last moment. Not because of failure, but because of fear. You think that's not you? Think again. Fear doesn't just live in the shadows. It hijacks your brain, steals your courage, and turns your dreams into summer days. But here's the truth. Fear isn't your enemy. It's a relic from our past, a primitive survival tool that's outlived its purpose. Back in the days of caves and firelight, fear was your best friend. It kept you alive when a saber-toothed tiger roared at night. But today, that same fear is holding you back from quitting your dead-end job, saying, "I love you," or chasing that dream you've built. Someday excuses. Fear isn't just primal. It's built into our DNA through stories like Adam and Eve. The moment we tasted the forbidden fruit, fear became our inheritance. And now, it's whispering in your ear every time you're about to take a risk. Let me ask you something. How many times have you canceled plans because of "what if"? How many goals did you abandon because of "I'm not ready"? Fear doesn't just paralyze. It warps your reality. It tricks you into believing the worst, turning potential into panic. But here's the kicker. Fear isn't a permanent resident in your mind. It's a guest who overstayed its welcome. Did you know that 72% of people let fear dictate their choices daily? That's not just statistics. It's your life on pause. You're living in a world where your brain is screaming, "Stay safe," while your heart is begging, "Take the leap." And every day you listen to fear, you become weaker. Not because you're flawed, but because you've forgotten how to reclaim control. What if I told you the same fear that kept our ancestors alive could be the reason you're stuck today? Let's uncover how to reclaim your power and why you've been letting fear win. Are you ready to stop being a prisoner of your own mind? You've probably noticed how fear creeps in when you're about to do something that matters. Maybe a job interview, a tough conversation, or a leap into the unknown. It's not just nerves. It's this primal whisper in your brain saying, "Stop, you don't belong here." And honestly, that feeling isn't random. It's wired into you. Long before smartphones and skyscrapers, fear was our survival instinct. Back then, it kept you from stepping too close to a fire or wandering into a lion's territory. But now, that same ancient part of your brain is screaming at you to avoid the discomfort of growth, even when the real danger is staying stuck. You're not weak for feeling this way. You're human. The problem is, fear doesn't just vanish when logic tells you it's irrational. Imagine trying to convince yourself that a spider isn't actually going to bite you while your body is already sweating and racing. That's the battle most people fight daily. Their mind knows they should take the risk, but their gut feels like it's about to crawl out of their skin. And here's what makes it even harder. Fear thrives on uncertainty. The more you don't know, the louder it gets. You're left asking, "What if I fail?" Or "What if I'm not enough?" But those questions are traps. They're designed to paralyze you, to keep you from moving forward. Because when you stay small, fear doesn't have to work as hard to control you. Then there's the weight of comparison. You see others taking risks and succeeding, and suddenly your own hesitation feels like a personal flaw. But what most people don't tell you is that everyone else is also battling their own demons. The difference? Some of them chose to keep going anyway. And here's the cruel twist. The more you avoid fear, the stronger it becomes. You start believing the lie that safety equals security, but what you're really trading is potential. Every time you say no to a new opportunity because it feels too scary, you're handing over your power to something that doesn't even exist. The fear of missing out, the fear of being wrong, the fear of not being good enough. Some of them chose to keep going anyway. And here's the cruel twist. The more you avoid fear, the stronger it becomes. You start believing the lie that safety equals security, but what you're really trading is potential. It's all imaginary, yet it feels real enough to stop you dead in your tracks. You're not alone in this struggle. But here's the truth. Fear isn't a permanent resident in your life. It's just a guest that overstayed its welcome, and you have the power to show it the door. It'll take courage, yes, but courage isn't the absence of fear. It's showing up anyway. You see, fear isn't some monster lurking in the shadows. It's a part of you, a relic from when our ancestors needed to run from predators or avoid poison. But today it's holding you back from the life you're meant to live. The good news? You have the power to rewrite this story. Let me guide you through 3 steps that will help you not only confront fear, but transform it into fuel for your courage. The first step is own reclaiming curiosity over fear. Fear often starts with a question. What if I fail? What if I'm judged? But here's the truth. Those questions are rooted in curiosity, not danger. Our ancestors' fear of the unknown came from survival instincts. But now, that same energy can be redirected. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what if I try? When you shift your focus from avoiding discomfort to exploring possibility, fear loses its grip. Take someone like Maya, who dreamed of starting her own business, but was paralyzed by the idea of financial risk. She began by interviewing entrepreneurs, learning their stories, and asking questions instead of fixating on worst-case scenarios. Slowly, her curiosity became a compass, not a cage. Fear is just your mind's way of saying, this matters, but you don't have to let it dictate your choices. The second step is in bringing fear into the light with small wins. You've heard the phrase, feel the fear and do it anyway. But what does that really look like? It's about breaking down big fears into tiny, manageable actions. Let's say you're afraid of speaking in public. Instead of jumping straight into a keynote speech, start by sharing your thoughts with one friend. Then, practice in front of a mirror. Next, speak up in a small group. Each step builds confidence and rewires your brain to associate fear with growth, not paralysis. Think of it like training muscles. You don't bench press 200 pounds on day 1. You start light, then add weight. The same goes for courage. Every time you face a fear, no matter how small, you're proving to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. The third step is in writing your inner narrative with self-compassion. Fear thrives on self-criticism. It whispers you're not enough, or this is too hard. But here's where you get to be the hero of your story. When fear creeps in, pause and ask yourself, would I talk to a friend this way? Replace harsh thoughts with kindness. If you messed up a presentation, tell yourself, I did my best. And that's all anyone can ask. Studies show that self-compassion reduces the emotional weight of fear, because it reminds you that setbacks are part of being human, not proof of failure. When fear creeps in, pause and ask yourself, would I talk to a friend this way? Then replace harsh thoughts with kindness. Sarah, a teacher afraid of classroom disruptions, used to berate herself for every misstep. But when she started treating herself like she'd treat a struggling student, with patience and encouragement, her confidence grew. She realized that perfection wasn't the goal, progress was. You are not defined by your fears. You are defined by how you choose to respond to them. Here's the final piece. Embrace the forbidden fruit as freedom. The myth of the forbidden fruit teaches us that fear often comes from what we're told we can't have. But here's the twist. When you choose to reach for the fruit anyway, you reclaim your power. That promotion you were too scared to apply for? That trip you thought was too risky? Those are opportunities waiting for you to say yes. Every time you take a step into the unknown, you're not just defying fear. You're honoring your curiosity, your resilience, and your right to live fully. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to keep showing up, one brave choice at a time. The world needs your voice, your ideas, your courage. And the best part. Every step you take toward overcoming fear isn't just about conquering it. It's about becoming unshakable in who you are. You are stronger than your fears. Now, go make them obsolete. You can do this right now, starting today. First, take a deep breath in through your nose for 4 counts. Hold it for 2. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6. Do that again. Feel your body settling, your mind quieting. Now, bring your attention to your hands. Notice the weight of them, the texture of your skin, the faint pulse in your wrists. This is grounding, anchoring yourself in the present moment when fear tries to pull you into the past or future. Fear thrives on uncertainty, but it can't touch you here now. Repeat this for 1 minute. Let your breath be a shield. When thoughts of what if creep in, name them without judgment. This is fear speaking. Then return to your breath. This isn't about eliminating fear. It's about building a relationship with it, so you're no longer its prisoner. Next, write down one fear that's been holding you back. Not the big ones, but the small, daily ones. Maybe it's fear of rejection, failure, or change. Now, ask yourself, what is the worst thing that could happen if I face this fear today? Write it out, then counter it with a single honest truth. For example, I might feel awkward at the meeting becomes, but I've survived awkward moments before, and I'll survive this one too. This isn't about being fearless. It's about reclaiming power over your narrative. Now take one tiny action to move toward that fear. If it's public speaking, send a message volunteering for a presentation. If it's asking someone out, text them a simple, "Hey, I've been thinking about you." You don't have to conquer the mountain today. Just take one step up. Finally, visualize your fear as a physical thing. A shadow, a wall, a storm. Now, imagine yourself walking toward it, not with hesitation, but with curiosity. What does it look like up close? Often, fear is just a story we tell ourselves. Ask, what would happen if I let this fear go? Then, for 30 seconds, speak to it as you would a friend. I see you're trying to protect me, but I'm choosing to grow instead. This isn't denial. It's redefining your relationship with fear. Often, fear is just a story we tell ourselves. When you stop letting it dictate your choices, you'll find it loses its grip. You are not defined by what scares you. You are defined by what you choose to do despite it. Today is the day you start rewriting that story. You've carried fear like a shadow for so long, whispering doubts, holding you back from the life you're meant to live. But here's the truth. Fear isn't your enemy. It's the echo of ancient survival instincts that no longer serve you. It started with curiosity, with the forbidden fruit myth, our first taste of what we weren't supposed to have. Now, that same fear keeps you from taking risks, dreaming big, or even showing up as your authentic self. But this isn't a life sentence. You can rewrite the story. The key lies in understanding that fear weakens you only when you let it define you. When you confront it, not with avoidance, but with courage, you begin to see it for what it is, a signal, not a signpost. It's asking, what are you afraid of losing? And the answer? Your potential, your joy, your freedom. Every time you choose action over anxiety, you reclaim power. You prove that fear doesn't own you. That's why I wrote If You Can Imagine It, You Can Make It, a guide to discover yourself. Because the first step to overcoming fear is believing in yourself, truly believing it. This book isn't just about strategies. It's about healing the wounds that keep you small. It's about learning to say, I'm not afraid of failure because I've already chosen growth. If this video resonated with you, please hit like and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it too. Because the world doesn't need more people who are safe. It needs more people who are brave enough to rise, even when their heart is racing. Your fear is just a door waiting to be opened, and on the other side, your greatest self, ready to shine.